Let me tell you about a fascinating story I read about Neville Goddard. In 1933 in New York City, he learned about the power of imagination from an old friend. This friend turned to the 14th chapter of John and read, "In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself. At where I am, there ye may be also." The friend explained to Goddard that the central character of the gospel was actually human imagination. Those mansions weren't places in some heavenly house. They were simply desires. If someone could create a living representation of their desired state and truly inhabit it mentally, it would become real. At the time, Goddard wanted to visit Barbados, but had no money. His friend suggested that as he fell asleep in New York City, he should imagine he was sleeping in his father's house in Barbados. For a month, night after night, Goddard practiced this. Remarkably, at the end of that month, his family invited him to spend the winter in Barbados. He sailed there in early December of that year. He wrote that after this experience, he knew he had found this Savior in himself. The whole thing seemed so strange to him that even after it happened, he almost couldn't believe it. He started thinking it would have happened anyway. That's how naturally it all unfolded. In his writings, he emphasized the difference between thinking of what you want versus thinking from what you want. He described how your imagination puts you in touch inwardly with your desired state. The key, he explained, was that what you see when describing your world depends entirely on where you stand when making that observation. If you can describe your world as though you're in your desired position, then mentally you are there. His conclusion was powerful. Where you go in imagination and make it real, you will go in the flesh. When you fall asleep in that imagined state, he wrote, it is done. He claimed he never saw this method fail, a simple yet profound technique for using imagination to realize any objective.